Did you know that LinkedIn is full of people with higher incomes who are looking for opportunities, looking for coaching, looking for programs, looking for courses? They are on the lookout and they can actually afford to pay for what they're looking for. So if you've been looking for more clients and more customers in your business, LinkedIn might be the missing link for you. So if you've ever wondered, well, who is the ideal person that I should be looking for? And how long does it really take? I have good news. In today's interview, we're going to cover exactly how to figure out who you should be looking for and how to find loads of clients and customers from LinkedIn in only 10 minutes a day. Check it out. Let's do this. Welcome to the Impactful Entrepreneur Show with Adrienne Hill, a place for online business industry expertise and thought leadership, where you can build the skills, structure, and systems you need to thrive in business and have a lasting impact in your industry. Let's do this. Today, I'm here with Ivana Brutenic. She and her sister have built a six-figure family business while raising three little kids. Their mission is to show you that LinkedIn does not have to be corporate and cold and stuffy. It can be full of opportunities. It can be colorful, authentic, and fun. They've trained over 5,000 people internationally and have been hosting the largest LinkedIn event in their region for 5 years. They've been featured in Forbes magazine as well as over 20 other media outlets regarding their LinkedIn expertise. They both love to learn and grow and have master's degrees and PhD degrees in marketing, HR, and business. They've 10x'd the LinkedIn following of multinational corporations. They passionately help small companies scale with 5- and 6-figure projects generated from LinkedIn. And in addition, their small business clients attract journalists and podcasters and end up being featured on TV, newspapers, and in magazines. So that's a huge bonus to all of their projects and their clients. And we are so blessed to have Ivana here with us today. So welcome, Ivana.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited.
So let's dive into everything LinkedIn, because I know there's quite a few audience members who, maybe they have a really nice social media following on other platforms, but they've never ventured into LinkedIn, and this is the moment where they want to start, which is an exciting time. But there may be others who have been on LinkedIn for a long time and maybe are just realizing they're not utilizing it to its full potential, and they're ready to go to the next level with it. So I'm really excited to dig in with you today. Before we jump into all the LinkedIn goodness, some of the audience may not have met you before. So can you tell us just a little bit about you and your story as an entrepreneur and what brought you to this place of being a LinkedIn expert?
Wow, that is a long story. I have been in business for the last 15 years, and I started when I was 22. I was at the university, and I just decided, let's give it a try. Because our parents, they had a printing company, my sisters and my parents, and it was so exciting for me to watch them, to be entrepreneurs. So I wanted to try that, and I did. They really supported us in this, and I started by myself, and then 7 years later, my sister joined. And we have had executive search company, and our clients have been asking, how come that you could find people that nobody else can find? And how is it, how does it work? And we were like, okay, we are using LinkedIn. And they were like, what? They didn't know the platform. They didn't know how it works. So they just started to ask. We started to give little trainings. And then we saw wow, this is a big potential. So basically, we just started to create strategies for companies, and then larger and larger companies came, and we work with large banks and insurance companies, multinational companies. And basically, we created ambassador programs for them so that their employees became their marketers and their recruiters for free. So this was really intriguing for them. And basically, we duplicate this with small companies and small and medium business entrepreneurs. And we teach them how to really find the opportunities on LinkedIn, whether it's business, whether it's media, and how to really get the most out of it. And you are really correct that it's very underestimated platform. Like people have their profiles on LinkedIn, but usually they don't do anything. They are just waiting for the opportunities, but nothing happens. Yeah. So here we go, like 7 years in the LinkedIn consulting later, we have trained like 5,000 people, and really we work with international clients from Central Europe. We are based in Slovakia, that is like in the middle of Europe. And like I'm so honored that I can really share my expertise globally also with you.
Well, we're so excited that even though, you kind of started, it sounds like you started by like recruiting talent for corporations. Yes. And then you accidentally stumbled into realizing that lots of people wanted to know how to use LinkedIn better. So I just want to point that out for the audience because, and I think you'll notice a trend, speaker after speaker after speaker, they didn't necessarily intentionally say, I'm going to be the LinkedIn expert or I'm going to be the Instagram expert. They just saw a need and they filled the need. So as you're on your entrepreneurial journey, if you're suddenly, as you're learning something new and you're seeing a need and you're starting to fill it, there could be a little golden nugget in there for you. So just wanted to point that out. I thought that was really fascinating that you guys noticed that there was interest there and just simply started to give people what they were asking for. And it became a thriving business for you. And how lucky are we that you're used to working with these larger corporations, but you're willing to work with us, the solo entrepreneurs. So we are really in for a treat today. So it sounds like you really specialize in helping, whether it's large companies or solo entrepreneurs, find the right people. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. Find the right people. And really, like at the beginning, they have to have clarity, like who are my people? Because, like otherwise, you don't have your ICA, your ideal client avatar, and you don't really know like who are you talking to. So this is like the most important thing at the beginning. And people really get stuck here. Like they get stuck, they are thinking for years, like who is my person? And nothing happens. So like it's the same like with our business, like you have to try. So you try and you will see if this person is yours and if the person and the people resonate with your content or your topic. So you really have to go and try because otherwise there will be no results. So once you really get the clarity, then you can like move on to content because otherwise you will have content, nobody will like it. You will just reuse something from Instagram, you will get 2 likes and you will get discouraged, and you're done with LinkedIn. Like this is not working for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that totally makes sense. If you're trying to find your perfect person, you have to know who that perfect person is first. You can't find someone if you don't know who they are. And so hopefully for the viewers, again, another trend we're seeing, expert after expert is saying, you have to know who your perfect person is. You have to know who you're speaking to, right? So, and of course, everyone's journey in figuring out who their ideal client is unique and different, right? But once someone has a pretty good feel for either who their ideal client is or who they simply want to test out working with to see if it's the right audience, what's the best first step to getting started on LinkedIn? Like what makes LinkedIn unique and different? And how should people get started if they're brand new?
What is really different is that LinkedIn, you don't have to pay for LinkedIn. It really works well organically, I don't think you get something like this with other platforms, except maybe TikTok, So you really get free traffic. Like you just need to use your time. Of course, time is precious. But anyway, like just commit to 10 minutes a day on LinkedIn. So if you have a profile, So if you have a profile, just commit for 10 minutes a day. And you can use this technique if you are beginning or even if you are using LinkedIn for 15 years. Just commit for 10 minutes a day and really be consistent for a month. And you will see really massive results, even in a month. And wow. You need to start engaging with your people. So for example, if who is the decision maker who is buying your service? Yeah, so it depends, like if you're selling to a corporate or if you're selling to solopreneurs. So for example, let's say we are selling to solopreneurs or small businesses. So my target audience is a CEO, okay? So I would go to LinkedIn for 10 minutes a day, check out profiles of the CEOs, check their activities. So you really see what they are doing on LinkedIn, and engage with their content, just to talk about your service a little bit, like soft sell in the comments. You don't really want to spam people because like on LinkedIn, especially in the US market, people are really sensitive to spams. Because, for example, when I compare it to Europe, it's not that bad here, like not so many spammers yet. So you really have to like just observe what is happening and like go to your homepage, like some posts, comment, and you can just build your brand through comments only. We have clients that do not have any content and they just comment and they build their brand just with comments and likes and just personal emails or messages.
Really? So that's super encouraging to know that it can truly be done in as few as 10 minutes a day if you're consistent, and do that for a month or more. And I assume once you've done it for a month, if you continue consistently doing it, it just ramps up even further from there.
If you really know who is your potential client and you are really consistent, then really in a month, you can see really nice results. We did a program especially for women, and we took them for a month, for 30 days. And they had a task to approach 30 high quality leads. And in 30 days, we have seen such massive results. We were so proud of them. And one of our clients, she just earned 5 times more than was her initial investment for the program in 3 months after that. So really like dozens of great contacts for each of them. And they were really like introverts, you know, they were not like extroverted and like willing to talk to anyone. Like they told us, I'm not sure, I don't want to sell, you know, so this was the baseline. I'm not going to sell anything. And then we just told them that you don't have to sell, quote unquote, you just have to talk about what you're doing. And you will attract those people, but you just need to talk to them because, you know, otherwise no one will find you. You cannot just sit in the corner and wait.
Yeah. So I would love to break this down a little bit because I'm intrigued of, you say 10 minutes a day, like what makes up those 10 minutes? Of course, any of us, we can share our own content. We can engage with other people's content. We can interact with them through the messaging feature. And I know there's lots of smart analytics inside of LinkedIn around searches and connections and networking. So how do you recommend that we break up that 10 minutes? If we were to create a daily method of operations, what would the ideal 10 minutes look like?
You really need to have quite a lot of connections to like really push your content out. So if you don't have the connections, you need to, you know, just start and building your network, but it doesn't mean you cannot sell without those connections. So if you have a lot of connections, you just go and post your content for those 10 minutes and then engage with your people. But if you don't have the connections, you have to start like building the network first. You can ask 100 people a week for a connection. So like every week, just make sure you use all those 100 connections just to, you know, grow. And you need maybe, let's say, 1,500 connections to have really nice baseline. So it's not like if you have 1,500 on Instagram, it's really low. If you have 1,500 on LinkedIn, it's pretty good, you know, so not that much work.
Yeah. Like so if you're going to grow your connections and following anywhere, it sounds like you get more for your time on LinkedIn than you might on other platforms.
Yeah, because, you know, the competition is really lower on LinkedIn because 99% of people on LinkedIn just watch the content or read the content. They don't create. So if you are a creator at heart, you really have a large chance that, you know, you can get results and you are visible really fast.
Okay.
So what you really, really need is to focus on those 1,500 connections. Like everyone who knows 1,500 people, you know, like It's really easy because usually I get like, I don't know that many people, this is impossible. You can have it in a month or in 2 months. So let's say when you start with LinkedIn today, in 2 months, you are set up with 1,500 contacts. You know who is your ideal client. You have been engaging with them and you are ready to sell.
Wow. So as you're reaching out and you're making these new connections, these contacts, should it be people that you literally know, or should it be people who match your ICA that you're just hoping to get to know?
Yeah, both, because you need people who will push your content up. And those are at the beginning, those are your friends, your former colleagues, and so on. So you need to ask for help and just don't hesitate to ask for help. Because if you get like 5 likes in the first hour, it really matters, just a few likes more, it really matters in the first hour or first 2 hours of your content being pushed out to the world. So you really need to focus on that you have those people who support your content, but you also need to focus on people who are your ICAs. So I would say it's like half and half.
Okay.
And then it changes and you will get like 90% of people that you don't know. And those will be your ICAs and people who can influence your ICA. So for example, if you are aiming for a CEO, they are not that active on LinkedIn. They are watching, but they are not liking, they are not like supporting content. So for example, if you have like 90% of CEOs in your network, you will not get the engagement on your content. So you need to like distribute the network. For example, if I'm aiming for the CEOs, I would also go for the assistant, like executive assistants of those CEOs.
Because every CEO likely has an assistant, and the assistant might be more active than the CEO.
Yeah. And for example, for our services, those CEOs tell their executive assistants, like, go and find me an expert on LinkedIn. So she is the lead. Yeah. And basically he is the decision maker there.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Okay. So you talk about these magical pairings of your ideal client, but also the person who is probably closest interacting with your ideal client. And you want to connect with both of those.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then you really get a lot of referrals. And this is what you want. Like, you don't want to be doing automation on LinkedIn, like selling so many messages that it doesn't make sense. I think automation is just perfect. But you really need to know, like, who is the client, like, what is the response. So first, you have to, like, before you automate, you have like to do it manually to really see what's working. And you really want the people, like your people, to be your personal marketers, and to do the marketing for yourself. And then it's just great. So we don't have to go and like actively search clients anymore because they are coming to us through referrals.
So in the beginning, you start by actively adding these connections and seeking people out. But as your audience grows, they'll start coming to you, it sounds like.
And you really need about 1,500 of connections for that
to happen. So as people are growing towards this 1,500 connections and they're reaching out to people and asking them to connect, is it important for them to send a message with that connection request, or can the connection request come without a message?
That is a great and hard question. So it depends. If you are a salesperson and in your headline, you have like sales something, people really get suspicious when you are sending a message. So, for example, when we are building strategies for sales people, sales directors, so people who really have like sales in the headline, then they send without the message. So just normal clicking. Because when you see a message, you're like, oh, this is automation. And sometimes it's really not,
Yeah.
But if you really like that person, like, for example, is it a podcaster or someone in media, like someone in Forbes, and you really want to be featured there? So you really want to stalk that person a little bit before, and then like go through the activities and maybe send them a message like, I like this article and I liked this and that about your article. Just let's stay connected. So you really don't go and you don't sell in the first message. And this is like really a lot of people do it. Like you get an invitation and you have to have so many emails like that in your LinkedIn. And they're like, hello, I can increase your ROI by 400%. And they don't know me. They don't know like what I need.
Right.
So it's not really efficient. So the efficient way is to really start small steps, really building the network, finding the client and connecting with people, and really get yourself out there and talk about what you're good at and like the results that you got for your clients, for example.
Yeah. So it sounds like a portion of those 10 minutes would just be putting out connection requests to get to that 1,500. And then a portion of that, it sounds like, is commenting on your ideal client's posts, and which makes sense to me because every single person, and I don't care who's watching, this applies to you too. When you put something out there, you want people to interact with it, right? Everyone wants their content to be interacted with. There's not a single person who makes a post and they're like, oh, I hope no one interacts with this today. Like, of course. So if you're interacting with people's content, they're naturally going to like you. It's almost like putting like little deposits into the emotional piggy bank,
yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, totally.
So yeah, how much of that would you recommend doing, of commenting or liking or just, interacting with your potential ideal clients?
It depends on the market. For example, if you are in the US, it's really more intense. So I would go like, let's say 10 to 15 comments a day. It's really quick. Like you can just write congrats, a little clap emoji. Okay, another one. So you don't have to think about those comments for hours, but you can also have really great comments about your expertise, So you have like 10 or 13 just about like great job, blah, blah, blah. And 2 or 3 where you can talk about like, oh, this is what I help my clients with. And I would recommend you, and you need to give advice. So just don't speak about your service. You just, mention it and you give like real advice in the comment.
Yeah.
It's really like 2 or 3 a day. And for the Europeans that may be watching, it's around half, so like 1 or 2 comments that are really to your expertise, and like five-ish that are just a random, very quick stuff.
Yeah. And so obviously the people who, if you're interacting on their content, they're going to like it. How often are they going then to look at your profile or to kind of learn more about you? Like, how do you turn that general likes and comments into actual leads and sales?
It's really great to like and comment, like to do both. Mm-hmm. You don't share on LinkedIn. Please don't go and don't share, because if you share, it really, sometimes it decreases the engagement, So it's so funny.
I didn't know that.
People go and share my content, and I'm like, no, please do not share, just like or comment. And this is because LinkedIn wants to have like a really unique content. So if you like share, it's nothing unique. So what you want to do really is to like and comment. And this is what you want to teach your people who support you to do. So you tell them like, please go like and comment. And what they this is the first thing, you have to start. People are watching your profiles, especially when you comment. Like, it depends. If there are like thousands of comments, like they might not go to your profile. But anyway, there are like dozens. If it's really a good post, there are dozens. So they really will go to your profile and look at it. So you need to have the expertise there. Because if you are like scattered in your profile and they don't know like what you're doing, they will leave. Mm-hmm. So you need to use those first two sentences to really catch their attention. And then they're like, okay, I want to learn more. And they will just read the about section. And most of the people don't have the about section, So like this is the most important part that you can have on your LinkedIn profile. So really be sure that you have your keywords there, because it works like keywords on Google. So you have the same keywords on LinkedIn, and you want to have keywords like your ICA calls your service. Don't come up with something like marketing ninja or something like this, because they are not searching for any ninjas,
Right.
So you have to, like, if you are a LinkedIn expert, they will search LinkedIn expert or LinkedIn consultant or something like that. So these are your keywords. So just make sure you have like proper keywords there. You have your call to action in your profile too. So for example, they can go to your freebie, they can schedule a discovery call, like it depends on your sales process. So just don't leave them hanging. They read the profile and they're like, there's a nice profile here, and they're leaving because, LinkedIn offers other people next to your profile with similar expertise. And you can turn this off in your settings in LinkedIn. So really go and turn this off because otherwise your competition is right next to you. So you don't want them to hang on your profile.
Ooh, okay. That's a pro tip. For those of you who have the VIP pass and you're taking notes in your action workbook, star that one to turn off that setting. I didn't even realize that was a setting. So thank you for telling us. So that's interesting. So basically, if your about section is set up correctly, you could use it as a place where they could then enter one of your funnels, grab a lead magnet, grab a masterclass, whatever it is that you might be featuring.
Usually they are really going to watch you for a long time on LinkedIn. Sometimes we have clients who are like, I have been watching you for 2 years, that's a bit creepy. I've had a client who has been watching me for 6 years before she was ready to work with us. But I knew her from LinkedIn because she really supported our content, and she was really great. Don't get discouraged when you won't get like people raving about you in a month. We have a proven system. We have like 15 years of experience, how to do that in a month. But like, don't get discouraged if you don't get the results in a month. You will see the results eventually. Just you need to, be consistent, really just 10 minutes a day, and you will see the results, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that being said, I would love to dig into that a little bit. You said some people could be watching you for 2 years, 6 years, a long period of time. Other people could decide to become a customer or a client within a month's time. It just depends. If people are wanting to use LinkedIn because they're wanting to start signing more paying clients or customers as quickly as possible, how do you translate all of this networking and activity and engagement into actual conversations or sales? What's the quickest path to that? Is it attracting them to your profile, or is it proactively initiating a conversation?
This is a great question. Really, it depends on the type of business that you have, and you can't push them, but you have to push them, So, like it can be really obvious, but it depends like what is the price level of your service. So if the price level is like hundreds of dollars, you can like go ahead and, approach them. If it's like, I don't know, $30,000 for a project, then it really takes time to nurture those leads.
Yeah.
So it depends how much time you want to take to nurture each one of the leads. So let's say you will have like 20% of those that are really like high level potential clients for your high level or high ticket service, if you have one. And those 80% are there for other types of services that you have, or you have maybe an online course or something like that, masterclass. So like the strategy is different. And we always love to combine both. So the one that you really create content and you attract people, and the one where you really like go and you really find a lead, you write them a message, but you have to write a message like that is not a salesy one. So for example, let's say you have a lead magnet. So you can send them a private message with that lead magnet, for example.
Yeah.
But like if you are selling to a corporate, for example, those people get so many messages. So you really need to dig into their profiles to be sure that you are, offering relevant stuff. Mm-hmm. Because like if you close your door there, they will remember if your message is terrible. So,
and I think most people watching here today, they're probably solopreneurs who are selling to individuals, not necessarily corporations.
Yeah, but sometimes we have clients who were selling to solopreneurs, but then they have found out like, okay, like it's much easier to sell to a corporate because I just need one sale instead of more small sales.
Right. So one really big sale instead of 20 small ones, for example, right?
Yeah, I always encourage them like, I totally understand that you are selling to individuals, but let's try a little A/B testing and let's try to have like 5%, little percentage of those corporate clients, and let's try it out. And sometimes like you see massive results and then they're like growing like this. So if you are selling to a solopreneur, like the system is the same because the person wants to be nurtured, they want to like feel that you really care. And you really have to care to be successful in business.
So you have to actually care for them to feel like you care.
Yes. Yes. So you really need to, you can approach them directly, but it has to be really soft. So like the best way is to use a lead magnet or an article. Or for example, I have done a great interview with Adrian. Maybe you would like what's inside, like go ahead and watch it if you would like to. And, they just go, they watch you, then they can binge watch, all episodes that you have created. Then, you start to build rapport with them. So it's really important not to sell like for at least 2 weeks that you have been connected. Like I would rather say like a month or two. Mm-hmm. And you prepare a message. Of course, that is something that is a template because it's not possible to write hundreds of messages. You prepare a template, but you always have to tweak it. And always use something from their profile. So for example, they have in their profile that they are golfers. Like you have to write them, oh, I love golf, or I have tried golf and I really suck at it, but I have seen your post and wow, congrats to your, medal or something. So you
something
really
that proves
need
that you're actually looking at their profile and learning about them and not just trying to sell to them.
Yeah, and it really takes a few minutes. So when you open their profile, it takes you 2 minutes to really find out something that you can use in those templates. And if it's really a client that you would like to work with, I really want them. So I would spend 2 hours, for example, watching their content or like going through their activities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's great. So it sounds like these 10 minutes, these magical 10 minutes that you can spend, it can be very simple, sending out some connection requests, engaging on some content, making sure your profile is set up with some funnels that they could jump into if they were interested, and then having some messages prepared with some value-based content that you can offer to someone, a video, an interview, a lead magnet, something valuable and helpful. And anything else that they should be doing in these 10 minutes?
Yeah, not be perfectionists, because like perfectionism, in social media is really a problem. And I am a recovering perfectionist and I totally get it. Like you are staring at your content for 3 hours and you are not satisfied. But you cannot do business like this on LinkedIn. You have to train yourself to like put out content in like 15 minutes or to like sit down for 30 minutes and approach 30 clients, basically with targeted messages. You can train yourself to do it really quickly. but just don't obsess about everything on your profile or on the message. Like, it doesn't matter. It won't be perfect. Like when I see my first videos, on LinkedIn, it definitely wasn't perfect, and it's still not perfect after 15 years. So just don't worry. If you are thinking about LinkedIn, just give it a try, but consistently for 30 days, and you will see by yourself that really the strategy could be different. Because, for example, if we have someone who really hates approaching other people, I wouldn't tell them like go and ask 30 people for their opinion on your ebook, because they would hate it. So I always think about like what kind of person you are, what kind of strategy is really the one that will work for you. And we can tweak it, but you have to start with the things that you like. You need actually to like LinkedIn. And if you like it, people will see that you like it. You're just having fun with your content. And even we have clients in banking industry, for example, like you would say you cannot use humor for that. You definitely can. We have startups, like IT people, and you can definitely use humor if you are that kind of person. Like you really want to be authentic, like with your brand. And it's the same with LinkedIn.
Oh, that's fascinating. So it sounds like it's not overly complicated. You just have to be consistent. Now, for the people who are watching who are maybe a little bit further along in business and they have support teams who are helping them, and they're realizing they want to use LinkedIn, but they don't want to do the legwork themselves. Maybe they want to have a virtual assistant or a social media manager helping them with it. Is there a way, do you have to have that VA or that social media manager log into your account as if they're you in order for them to do these things? And you just give them instructions on what it is you want them to do?
Yes. And this is why the people don't really like it, like giving, everything you have built on your LinkedIn to a virtual assistant. You really need to trust that person, because otherwise it can get your profile banned, for example, for too many connection requests or for using automation. So I have seen so many errors with VAs, for example, like using automation that is really you cannot do that on LinkedIn. There are some workarounds, but if you do that and you don't know what you're doing, your profile gets banned forever, it's canceled and you have 5,000 connections there and, it's done. First, you really want to know what's working for yourself. And I would rather let my VA prepare the content, for example, repurpose something that I have done or cut some videos, add a little graphics there and prepare everything. And then you can post it by yourself. The other possibility is to use Buffer, for example. It's a free tool where you can put your little content and it will spread into your LinkedIn once you set the date that it should. But you will have around 20 to 30% lower engagement, comparing to a live posting on your actual profile.
Sure.
So there's really a trade-off every time. So I would at the beginning, I would just go for the VA to prepare content, and myself, I would just go and log into my profile and post it by myself. And the thing that you really want to be careful about are the comments. Because if you cannot let someone to do your comments, it could be congrats, but sometimes you know that person and your VA doesn't know that you know that person, and she, writes something that is inappropriate, and then you really have a problem.
Something you would never say if it was you, actually. So you recommend letting your support team help with putting content out there, but not with the messaging or the commenting. Okay.
They can prepare the messaging, they can create several templates, and they can use your CRM if you have one, and just put it there, but actually writing your stuff, it should be you. And really, you don't want to mess your relationships with your clients just to save a little time. Mm-hmm. But if you have a great VA, we have some clients that do really have great VAs that are their LinkedIn.
Yeah. It does seem like the VA could probably help with the connection requests if they know who to look for.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And you can also use some automation for that too.
Oh, you can. What automation do you recommend for that?
Well, it depends. Like we used Rapportive, it was for Gmail, but now like you have to check almost every week which automation were banned by LinkedIn.
Oh, so LinkedIn is very sensitive to any kind of automation tools.
Extremely sensitive. So I don't really want to like give your audience the wrong impression that they can just go and use an automation and they will get banned. They will hate me for that.
So it's better to manually interact with LinkedIn than it is to try to automate any of it.
Yeah, like for the first year, definitely. Like for the first year of active using of LinkedIn for sales. Like you could be using LinkedIn for 15 years, but if you are not selling, this is not like active usage of LinkedIn.
That is so good. Thank you for warning us about that, because every platform is different, and to know that they're very sensitive to that, it's worth knowing, like, hey guys, don't try to cut corners. Do it organically or don't do it.
Yeah, and basically I wanted to say that you don't need to pay for the paid profiles on LinkedIn. Like you don't have to have premium. It's a little bit easier with premiums, but if you want to check out like how it works, you don't need to pay for premiums. So you will see in the future, and you can have a month for free on LinkedIn. So just definitely, if you want to try, go ahead. But when you cancel, you will lose all your messages from that month.
Oh, so be aware. Okay. So you're saying it's not really necessary to have that anyway. You don't need it to succeed.
No.
Okay. Well, oh my gosh, this has been so helpful to dive into LinkedIn and understand some of the unique differences with this platform. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Impactful Entrepreneur Show. If you found amazing value here, like, subscribe, and leave us a review to help other people find the high value content that we share, and find us on social media so we can continue the conversation. See you in the next episode.